Hi, guys. The episode that you're about to listen to is with Tanya Sardana. She is co-founder and CEO of Flyshot. Flyshot is a promotions management SaaS platform that plugs into e-commerce platforms that allows brands to manage their promotions using QR codes that customers can auto-apply via screenshot uploads at checkout. Super interesting technology, super interesting discussion. Enjoy. Welcome to the At the Coalface podcast with your host, Jason Greenwood. This podcast is all about what it's really like in the trenches of digital and e-commerce. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the pod. I have an exciting guest for you today, hailing all the way from the cold north of Canada. I've got Tanya Sardana from Flyshot with me today. Welcome, Tanya.
Hey, Jason, thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'll be the first to admit, if I look back across the 172 plus episodes we've got on the pod now, we haven't had nearly as many women on the podcast as I would like. And I've tried to remedy that and make a real effort to get more women on the pod, more women leaders on the pod. And, you are the CEO and a co-founder of Flyshot, and you bill yourself as the platform for e-commerce retailers to run sustainable promotions that minimize returns, but also increase sales. And if we look back across your history in the business world, it feels like this is a natural evolution of where you've come from. You were digital marketing lead at L'Oreal. You were director of communications for Global Live. You've come from this digital tech kind of entrepreneurial communications background that feels like this is just like the perfect fit for you to land in. But I'd love for you to maybe explain how you came to develop Flyshot. You've been up and running for just under 4 years now. So what precipitated you deciding to start Flyshot in the first place?
Yeah. So you know what? We evolved. We evolved from things, which it's interesting how it's still a part of the company. So when we started, we were essentially positioned as an influencer marketing platform. And we talked to companies like large, like L'Oreal being one. And then we pivoted to more like attribution, where we're talking to companies like McDonald's and EA and Disney and Gameloft. And we pivoted from these different facets of, let's say, the promotions business. We didn't realize that we were promotions from the get-go. That came as a result of talking to so many companies, because what we started off with was this tech, right? It's this ability to essentially take a screenshot of an image that has certain parameters associated with it and upload it and do an action with it. And in a way, a great use case of it was when we started was essentially conversion attribution for influencer marketing. Like one thing I dealt with L'Oreal was that we were spending millions of dollars on influencer campaigns, but couldn't attribute conversions. And a lot of these influencer campaigns use promo codes for attribution. The promo code aspect was built in, but we didn't realize that the promo was essentially the backbone, the fundamental of Flyshot that customers wanted, that came as a result of these conversations we had with them. And so it evolved to where we are today, to this point of sustainability, which has always been just a passion of mine. It's personally, and over time, observing consumer behavior. And all of that comes together and brings out a company that actually makes an impact. And I'm proud to do it.
And you talk about, now I've never used Flyshot before, so I can really only go on what you've got on your website and how you describe the process for consumers to interact with your technology. And you say basically you specifically call out the fact that consumers like redeeming promotions by uploading screenshots of campaigns at checkout. So you say letting them do this increases your sales by converting more high intent customers that have lower probability of returning your product. So is the incentive for customers to actually go to the effort of doing this for them to achieve a promotion or to unlock a promotion? And that's the incentive. So basically they're going to follow, let's say it's a social influencer ad, or let's say it's even a brand ad on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And then basically from that point, in order to unlock that promotion, they then have to choose to upload the screenshot into checkout.
That's right. So what they do is they essentially, it's not exactly an incentive. So it's built into the natural way people redeem promotions. Now, you started off by saying that people prefer doing this, and this is extensive research we conducted, which is that what screenshots does is it aligns with natural consumer behavior as it pertains to promotions. Now, when you think about it, like we're in fact 4 days, actually 3 days away from Black Friday. It's the biggest sale of the year. And right now, a consumer would be bombarded with ads. Every ad, every email ad, every social influencer ad, Instagram ads is something we deal with. And every ad, this big bucks. Black Friday ad spend is huge. And so they're spending money to acquire these impressions of people that may or may not be ready to purchase in an instant. Like when you see an ad, a Black Friday ad, or any other promotional campaign during the year, you could be casually browsing. Essentially your level of purchase intent may not be what the advertiser expects it to be, which is the 1% that are willing to convert right away. That's what they're gambling on. And that's where they lose money, because they're just pushing hasty purchases, people to convert right away, when that really doesn't happen 99% of the time. Click-through rates are 0.01% on Instagram ads, which is the highest converting channel of all, right? That's how many people convert instantly. So what screenshots does in terms of increasing sales is that it allows consumers to save promotions for when they're ready to purchase within the promotional period defined by the brand. So the brand may say, my Black Friday promotion is for this week. Some brands have it a month long now. And so they define the date. Now, when they define the date and you're not pushing like the instant buy now, like the terminology used by these promotions, if you open up your Gmail inbox folder in promotions, it's hurry, last off, limited time, and the pressure to purchase instantly. They're keywords like hurry and not saying when the promotion ends. It drives this, it's meant to drive hastiness. The 1% of people that may convert, they'll do that out of haste. And when they do it out of haste, it increases the probability of product returns. And those product returns are a big loss center for brands.
And what I love about the way that you guys work is that your platform generates a QR code, which gets embedded in the promotional imagery for the promotion. So that way, presumably, when they do upload it at checkout, then that can be read by the Flyshot platform. So it can read the QR code. It knows exactly what discount should be applied. It knows exactly what the campaign parameters are. It knows whether it's expired or not. So basically it reads this QR code right in platform to know everything that should happen with that promotion.
Exactly. A traditional promo code would have, let's say, 4 or 5 different parameters associated with it. And then there's you're expecting consumers to remember an alphanumeric code. And even with promotions that don't use promo codes, like alphanumeric promo codes, there's the expectation that they would convert right away. Neither of those work to increase conversions. And so the better way, the less hasty, more sustainable way, which essentially reduces product returns because it aligns with natural consumer behavior, and it increases sales because consumers get to make purchases at convenience, which they naturally would. No one is willing to convert right away. And so what that QR code you're talking about does is it takes all different promotion parameters associated with what a brand wants to do and take it as extensive as adding SKUs and adding categories. So let's say it's a promotion. So like Black Friday could be a whole thing. And so they run this promotion and they run campaigns with it. They could run campaigns on ads, on influencers, on email, like it's omni-channel, it's 80 plus ad channels, like wherever they want to run promotions. And all they do in Flyshot is they create these QR codes, like you said, and we guide them on how they can essentially create their ad campaign so that it maximizes conversions and reduces product returns. And so that whole thing is built into the platform. It's a B2B SaaS that they use. And yeah.
And this, like you said, I think one of the things that you called out earlier is so important to understand is that in this mobile dominated world, I know myself and my wife do this pretty regularly. If we see a promotion for something that we like, but we're not necessarily ready to buy it right then and there. But let's say even we're going to, maybe one of our friends or one of our family members has a birthday coming up in a month, and we know it's about a month away before we need to buy, but we want to keep track of this product because we know it would be of interest to those individuals as a gift. What we'll do, and I guess that this taps into that human psychology, we don't want to forget where we saw it. We don't want to forget what the promotion was. So we'll just screenshot it. We'll screenshot it out of Instagram. We'll screenshot it off of Facebook. We'll screenshot it off of TikTok. We'll screenshot it off of wherever. And then what we'll do is we'll just keep that in our camera roll to refer back to at a later date when we're looking to buy something. We'll look back on that. We'll say, oh yeah, there was that thing I wanted to buy. Oh, let me just go back to my camera roll and let me see where it was that I saw it, when it was I saw it, what the promotion was, what the discount was, how I accessed it, and through who, what was the retailer that was offering this promotion. And so I think this taps into really two fundamental shifts in society. One is the mobile first model, the mobile phone being the remote control of our lives, combined with this natural tendency by consumers to not want to miss out on a deal because they refresh their Instagram feed, and all of a sudden this campaign that they saw is now gone and they can't remember where it was or how much the discount was for. So they quickly will screenshot it in the moment so that they can refer back to it later. And as you say, with something like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they might want to compare multiple similar campaigns from different retailers side by side to see who's got the better deal or who's got the ideal product that I'm looking for. And if they go to their gallery, they can see 5 or 10 promotions side by side that they've screenshot. And so you're tapping into that default behavior that happens by consumers on cell phones, on tablets already today. You're basically tapping into something they're going to do anyway.
And so they totally do it anyway. Like screenshots is something that is so natural. Like you said, they might have it in the gallery. They might be comparing them. The good thing is that with something like, let's say, iOS 14, right? Like advertisers and brands, they completely lost visibility into consumer behavior. But the whole thing here, like one of the key things that we realized is, yes, advertisers get to increase sales, but then decreasing product returns, but becomes much more. And that's something that as we talk to different brands, it becomes clear that, yes, it aligns with, like you said, they're going to compare those different images together, those different promotions together, and it's going to align with natural consumer behavior. And they're going to make thoughtful purchases. They're high intent purchases. When you think about, let's say, you're going to buy something for Black Friday, you need something, right? Like typically most e-commerce consumers today, when they're making a purchase, there's a certain level of intent behind it. And that intent builds, you think about making a purchase and then you give it some more thought, and there we have our funnel. And so what has happened with, for example, iOS 14 is that a lot of brands have lost visibility into the bottom of the funnel, which is like people willing to convert right away. And when you're spending millions on Black Friday campaigns and promotions during the year in general, you're like brands really want to see and capture high intent customers. And so what happens is that they don't know whether this customer is ready to convert right away, whether that promotion is going to get the consumer to convert. And what they do using screenshots is that they essentially allow the consumer to convert at convenience during their promotion window, which is essentially allowing them to make more of a thoughtful purchase, right? A less of a hasty purchase. Like the 1% of people that would actually convert, they have a higher probability of returning the item, right? So let's say that you saw an ad, right? Let's say that you had a little bit of intent in that you wanted something in the similar category, but let's just say you're scrolling down your Instagram feed and an ad from a product that just says, hey, Jason, buy now. And you're like, this is a product that I really like. And it's a category that I am passionate about. And you might get excited about it if it's something like a 40% off. And you may be like, oh my God, this is really exciting. I want it. And make that instant purchase. And it happens. Promotions quite literally create oxytocin in the human brain. It is very exciting to get like a good deal, right? It creates transaction utility in the consumer psyche, which is almost sometimes greater than the utility of the product. When we talk about things like apparel, it runs on deals. The whole thing runs on deals, especially now during inflation. And so the transactional utility is greater then sometimes the utility of the product and the whole Black Friday thing. It's a whole capitalist opportunity, which is the whole point, is that we reduce waste, right? Like, I approach it from a very sustainability perspective, right? Like, I could totally do this as a market for promotions, but that's not the objective here. The objective is to reduce waste, because there's a lot of waste that's created out of this thing. Like, brands lose money on product returns, like retailers in particular. And these product returns happen because promotions drive hasty purchases. Like, if you just give someone like 2-3 days to think about it, maybe they'd actually read the product description. Maybe they'd read the reviews, and maybe they'd actually think, are they going to use the thing? Instead of just saying, hey, buy now, buy instantly. And then the person buys it, and then they see it and they're like, oh, it doesn't fit, or I just don't like it. Fuck, I made a wrong decision. The reasons could be, sometimes, most of the time, the reason is, oh shit, I didn't really think this through, which is the underlying reason, which doesn't get captured on returns management software. And so the person returns the item because it's, okay, shit, I bought this on sale, but I don't, whatever, like I'm just going to return it. A retailer can resell it, and that's just a shit ton of waste. Like, promotions spike returns. And that correlation is what brands care about in terms of reducing returns. And that's the core mission of Flyshot.
Now, I suppose that retailers don't necessarily have to. They could use their standard promotion software, their standard coupon codes. They could make it very clear in the ad that this coupon code is going to work for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month, whatever it might be. So they don't necessarily have to create the sense of urgency that you're talking about, that instant conversion urgency with a coupon code. They can simply extend out the redeemability period of a coupon code and achieve similar things. But I guess what I see as perhaps the bigger benefit, and someone could still screenshot the ad, and they could still screenshot the promo code in the ad that's in the ad, and they could ratchet down the level of pushiness in ads by using standard coupon codes that they use out of their e-commerce platform of choice today. But I guess from my perspective, the thing that I see adds value to Flyshot over and above what they can already do with their out-of-the-box e-commerce platform is help to remove friction. So there still is the aspect of having to go back and forth between apps. You have to go back between your camera roll. You have to, especially if it's a long coupon code, 5 numbers, letters, characters in a coupon code. You got to switch back and forth between the website and the screenshot. You got to type maybe 3 or 4 characters that you can remember in, then go back to the screenshot, type the next 3 characters in, whatever it might be. And so there's a lot of friction in the process of going back, identifying what the coupon code is, making sure you enter it correctly, making sure you get the discount that you're supposed to get. And I guess that, to me, feels like the even bigger benefit of Flyshot is the ability to remove all that friction of even having to think about what the coupon code is. You just upload the screenshot. That, by definition, as part of the upload process, scans the QR code automatically applies the appropriate discount based on the parameters that are wrapped around that coupon code. And really, it just, to me, it feels like just such a massive friction reducer. And I think there's also a surprise and delight element to Flyshot here, because I've never seen any other platform do this. I've never seen another promotional management or promotions management platform. I've never seen it operate in this way, and I've never seen it leverage that natural behavior of screenshotting and uploading a screenshot. And so it feels like the friction reduction element of Flyshot seems like the area that is the biggest game-changing part of this.
It's cool you say that. And you know what? A lot of consumers love it. Like, what you said is what consumers love, right? Like, it's totally like the whole friction reduction point of it is definitely, like, so many times we hear consumers, and then also in the research, the reason why they like is, like you said, it removes the friction. You don't have to remember the code. It's easier to brand. It actually increases sales like by quite a bit. And what I like, and what brands seem to like, is that it, like you also said, it ties into consumer psyche. So they're making more thoughtful purchases, and that reduces the probability of return, because it's not, they're thinking through it, and that's going to reduce return rates. And that's a key KPI that we care about, and increase in sales.
And I guess it also feels like it would reinforce and encourage them to screenshot in the moment, because that's how they have to do it to unlock the promotion, right? So even if they were scrolling down and they stopped on something they like, the fact that it's flat out tells them screenshot this and upload it at checkout to unlock your discount or unlock the promotion or unlock the bundle or unlock the free gift or whatever it is that they're doing that is part of this promotion. The fact that the brand is flat out telling them you need to screenshot this to unlock the promotion, it is actively reinforcing them and encouraging them to screenshot in the moment before they refresh their feed, before that ad disappears and maybe is never seen again. So not only does it actively, I guess, capture some of these default behaviors, but it reinforces and encourages some of these default behaviors, and it encourages you to do it in the moment whilst you're viewing the ad. And so it feels like this is tapping into that psychological behavior, that search and find behavior, right? Which is biologically programmed into us. The seeing the tree that's in the distance with an apple on it getting closer to us as we walk closer to it, and the dopamine effect kicks in. It's a similar kind of thing. It's the search and find dopamine effect, isn't it?
Totally. So it works. So when you think of a promo code, it works similarly. Like a brand giving an alphanumeric promo code it's a no-brainer for them to move to a QR code, right? Like in fact, our tech is beyond the QR code. Like consumers wanted the QR code because it signifies like a promotion. And so like it works the same way. Like they can word it the way they want it. You can say unlock, you can say what they essentially say is screenshot this ad and upload it checkout to get the 40% off. And then they can use that call to action in different ways in the ad. They can say 40% off, screenshot and upload it checkout. So instead of them saying use this promo code cyber50 at checkout, and like literally typing out a text version of an alphanumeric code, which no one's really gonna, type down. They're gonna take a screenshot anyway, which is like a natural consumer behavior, which we're just automating the whole thing. Like it's natural consumer behavior, like you said, in the end, you do it anyway. And so they naturally take a screenshot. It's there anyway, it's a QR code. Just upload it, check it. And the other thing that brands gain, because a lot of brands have like site-wide discounts, right? So most of the times there's not like a promo code, not an alpha promo code. Most of the time it's just, okay, it's 50% off and buy now, right? Like you see a brand from like a large enterprise retailer, it's a 60-40, like 60% don't, 40% do use promo codes, like alphanumeric codes. But 60% that don't, they like, it's just a buy now, right? Like you're scrolling down your Instagram feed and you just see, Zappos or whatever, Target or any CPG, whatever, large scale, fast moving goods, enterprise brand, 60% off, buy now. And consumers like, what do you want me to buy? I don't really have any purchase intent built up. Okay, I'm seeing this. Okay, next, scroll on, they ignore the ad. And so that brand is burning ad dollars, trying to convert people that are just not ready to purchase. It doesn't match their readiness to purchase or their level of intent in that moment. And two, so let's say they're offering a site-wide discount, so there's no promotion code. A person that does come in, whether organically or through that ad, they're burning ad dollars to give promotions to everyone, right? There's a certain sect of promotion software which gives targeted discount. That's like one category of promotion software that's doing this. They're using extensive levels, almost creepy levels of user data and trying to signify, okay, how many times, even though retargeting is really hard for them now. They're trying to give discounts only to people that need it, right? And so they're trying not to do site-wide discounts. And so retailers are already moving in that direction where they realize that promotions cut margins. And then when those promotions then become returns and you've spent money to acquire those promotions with those customers, and then they come back as returns, and then you have to offer refunds, and then you have to spend more money to acquire new customers. But you also have to deal with the logistical costs of dealing with those refunds and those returns that you now have to resell, which becomes a bigger profit hit. And so there's so many losses that they incur by not doing promotions properly. And there's just a better way to do it.
Makes sense. Now, I see on your website that you list there, or at least it looks like you list Shopify and WooCommerce as your out-of-the-box integrations. Now, I haven't seen on the Shopify App Store, I haven't seen Flyshot as a Shopify app yet. And on your website, it says Get Early Access. There's a button to click for early access. So is the platform still in beta, or is it actually out in the wild now, or are you still in development? Or kind of where is this platform/product at this particular point in time?
So it's pretty early right now. So it is beta right now, in that we're open to onboarding early customers, which in personal conversation with like large brand retailers. And so it's private beta at the moment. And so the intent is to run like pilots. And so that's what we're doing. But yeah, it's private access at the moment. Should a large retailer want to sign up, they reach out to me personally. And Shopify app will come very soon. We're working on it.
And when do you expect to come out of private beta, like full-blown, like production release available to everyone? What do you have a target date for that, or is that still TBC?
It's TBD at the moment, but definitely sometime like Q2 next.
And is it your vision to ultimately have apps for other platforms other than Shopify and Woo, like the BigCommerces of the world, the Magentos, et cetera? Is that your goal?
Yeah, totally. A lot of retailers have most of the time custom sites. So like bigger the retailer, it's custom as an integration. Like Magento, Shopify, WooCommerce to start and then expand to different, Magento being next. One thing that we're integrating with is return software. So they send us their data for attribution. And so we're able to tell retailers that, hey, this reduced your return rates. And you can see that on Flyshot because the returns data is fed to us. And so we're working on an integration for that. And numerous integrations coming up and definitely it's going to be exciting.
Love it. And you had mentioned that this is obviously on your roadmap. You've got all these things coming up. What I don't see yet, and maybe you can give us a clue. You said you're on your SaaS platform, and typically that would take the form of a fixed monthly SaaS fee plus perhaps a transaction associated fee or something like that. So how do you guys make your money? Do you charge a fixed fee per month for access to the platform, or is it based on the number of transactions that utilize Flyshot uploads, or how do you guys make your money?
So the combination of both, where the transaction element is baked into the SaaS. And so it's a SaaS, essentially, which scales based on the number of conversions they drive per month.
So it's tiered based on that. So basically, if you move up the tiers as the number of conversions from Flyshot goes up.
Exactly.
Great. And can you give us some sort of indicative, what does the tiering look like, and what does the pricing look like roughly for, say, the lowest tier that you have on offer?
Yeah, so conversions per month is one of the biggest things it scales on. There's other variables, right? So Flyshot's a fully fledged influencer platform as well, including the fact that it serves ad campaigns and email campaigns. And so what it allows brands to do is essentially create their promotions, then create campaigns, then essentially run those campaigns if they choose to run influencer campaigns, and the whole thing is built in on the platform. If they choose to run ad campaigns, then they generate those QR codes, and then they essentially have instructions, guidelines for their creative teams so that they can create ads that essentially maximize the conversions they're going to achieve by using those QR codes. Whether that's right now ads, right? So email is coming soon. Like obviously right now they can technically do it. It's a little bit like right now it's early, like they can do it and I'd help them. It would be a hack, but like the formal functionality of that is going to release soon. And so essentially based on all of these different functions, they essentially get the ability. So like the smallest tier, like you asked, it has like how many conversions per month, how many campaigns per month, the number of influencer searches they can make, the number of influencer profile calls they can visit, like should they run influencer campaigns, because that functionality is available to them. The conversions per month is for ad campaigns. And so those are some of the key elements. There's elements of the influencer platform that it scales with. There's how many promotions they can create per month, and largely the conversions per month.
Makes sense. And what is the cost per month of that lowest tier that you offer today?
So right now, I'm not disclosing our pricing publicly just because we are enterprise focused. We are experimenting with pricing right now, and we will set a target in early Q2. Like it's enterprise. So right now, when we're talking to companies like Walmart, we're starting there, and then we're going to roll out public pricing very soon. I'll update you on that.
And those tiers will be then public. At that point, they would then be publicly available on the website so people can see what they get at each tier and what the cost per tier will be.
Exactly.
Fantastic. And
It's already
and
there
y-
on the platform, but we'll just make it public on the site.
okay, cool. And so if people want to find out more about you, about the platform, or reach out to you or get in contact with you, should they just so your website, just for everybody's knowledge, is Flyshot, FLYSHOT.io. Are they best to simply go to that website, click on get early access to learn more? Are they best to reach out to you on LinkedIn, or how would you prefer that people get in touch with you?
LinkedIn is best. I'm pretty active there. And
Great.
yeah,
So it's Tanya Sardana, Sardana. If somebody wants to get a hold of you on LinkedIn. And I'm very curious about the Flyshot name. I'm guessing, tell me if I'm wrong, this is a play on words like fly clothing, like she looks fly, and screenshot. I'm guessing that's an amalgamation of those two. Is that how you came up with the name?
yeah, totally. So screenshot, definitely. That was the
Yes.
fundamental and attaching something cool to it. And yeah.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Listen, we are now at the point of the pod where I get to flip the script. I get to turn the microphone over to you, Tanya, and I get to let you ask me one question, any question you like. It can be professional, can be personal, can be whatever you like. So, microphone over to you, Tanya. What would you like to ask me today?
Interesting. So you already told me your thoughts on Flyshot. What
Yes.
what would be what would make you want to buy the software? And I'm just thinking of it like your stuff. It seems based on the guests you've had and like the return stuff. Like, what do you think? What would make you buy the software?
I think having integrations, out of the box integrations with marketing automation software and with CDP platforms, customer data platforms, I think that to me feels like a logical piece of plumbing that should be there, because you may have merchants, for example, that they actually want all their email campaigns to come out of Klaviyo or Dot Digital or whatever marketing automation platform it is that they use. And they're also going to want the behavioral data, the consumption data of all of these coupon codes and where they screenshot it from, all this rich data, right? You're going to want this in their system of record around the customer, whether it's their CRM, their CDP, whatever it might be. And so it feels like possibly even your email functionality, your email campaign functionality, because they're going to have to get that email list, they're going to have to get that segmented list into your platform somehow, some way, but they already oftentimes will, probably 90+% of the time, they're going to be using a marketing platform, an email marketing platform of some description already. And so it feels like maybe pushing out the data into a Klaviyo or into some other marketing automation platform feels like a great way to get you there quicker, instead of building the email campaign functionality, maybe just building the campaign builder functionality, but then pushing out that information into something like a Klaviyo feels like a quicker way maybe than developing it from scratch yourself. And of course, because these brands want the email analytics coming from a central source, they basically want to send their transactional emails, they want to send their campaign emails, they want to send everything through that central marketing automation platform and have unified analytics and a view across that without having to use like UTMs or something else in your platform or something. It feels like that would be a natural place for you to go next in terms of integrations. Of course, you've got to integrate with e-commerce platforms for your platform to work, but I just feel because this is largely going to be used and driven by marketers, they're going to want this data in their platform of choice for further segmentation, further analysis, further BI.
Totally. And that's exactly how we're positioned. So we're not building email functionality on Flyshot at all. That wouldn't
Okay.
make sense. Like you said, an e-commerce will want their everything, all their email, let's say, set up on Klaviyo, right? They're not going to move their list or anything. So that's definitely not what we expect them to do. What we essentially allow them to do is essentially take, for example, the promotions that they run in those Klaviyo campaigns. And like you said, offer those integrations. And so right now they don't even need an integration. What they do is like their promotions, like the promotion parameters is different than the email campaign, right? And the promotion parameters and the BI behind that is what we focus on. And so they create the promotion parameters and associated QR codes on Flyshot. They can choose Klaviyo as a channel and then create QR codes and promotion codes and have all of their different channel attributes for Klaviyo and get even granular on that in terms of data that they put on Flyshot, but then create QR codes for Klaviyo and run their email marketing campaigns as they normally would with promotions. Instead of using regular QR codes or promo codes, they're using Flyshot QR codes. And so that is what we're doing. And what you said totally makes sense in terms of like how it would make sense for an e-commerce company. And yeah, that's cool.
Sounds like you're on the right path. Yeah, it sounds like you've got some exciting plans ahead. It'd be amazing to get you back on the pod once you're into formal alpha release there, or production release rather, and see where you've landed from a functional standpoint, from a pricing standpoint, from a conversion standpoint. It'd be lovely to get a better picture of some of the headline brands that are using the platform and some of the conversion increases that they've seen as a result and the reduction in return. Love to get you back on and once you're in full production and see how you've gotten on.
Absolutely. That sounds great, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Are you a merchant or software vendor that is focused on e-commerce or omnichannel? Then head over to greenwoodconsulting.net to see how we can help you scale your business.